We're on to weeks 24 and weeks 25 of the sophisticated declutter. We are almost done. This is the last major category of the declutter, and I've labeled it as the outdoors, although a lot of these items and things might be here in your garage like I am today. Week 24 is gonna start with decluttering your car. So I have my car here, and I just wanna start at the outset by saying your car should not be a storage device. You really shouldn't keep much in your car. And I'm gonna start by listing a few things on the screen that you can keep in your car, some items that might be helpful. I have a few things in my center console that fall under the beauty category for myself, just in case I wanna touch things up, like chapstick, or I like to have a hairbrush, little things like that in a very, very small zipper pouch. I also have a couple of miscellaneous items like a pen. You never know when you might need a pen, a few first aid items, and then depending on the season, I'll rotate things in my car like an umbrella or a snow scraper. But for the most part, I don't keep things in the car. I also have young children. I still don't keep things in the car. I try and keep it as clean as possible. And maybe we're a little bit crazy because I don't really have food in my car. I don't like my kids to have food in the car. I understand that, of course, does not work for everyone. And of course, we make exceptions ourselves here and there. But every time when I pull into the garage, I take everything out of the car that was in there, or if I don't take it out right at that moment, I take it out that evening and empty it out. Unless I'm gonna be using it the next day, there's really no purpose in me storing it in my car. Everything should have a place in my home. And at this point in the sophisticated declutter, you've worked through your entire house. So truly, everything should have a place in your home. And again, when you're going through your car, just think, this is not a storage place. There are a couple of things that might be helpful for you to have on the go that you maybe forget places. I guess another great example would be, because I have young kids, I keep a diaper in each size for both kids and some wipes in a little pouch as well, and have this little emergency kit for them. And depending on what's going on in your life and your family dynamics, you might have a couple exceptions as well. Maybe you have a specific sport like tennis, I don't know, or I grew up figure skating and I would go to skating every single morning. You could keep your gear in the car, like I had a backpack with my skates, that you could keep in the car if you're going every single day and it's staying there, and then maybe you take it out on the weekends if you're not doing that activity on the weekends. I'm gonna let you make this determination. Just please don't store a bunch of junk in your car. Week 25 is a big one. It is the garage. And I do want to let you know, next week, week 26, is going to be a buffer week. So if you need an extra week for your garage, keep that in mind. But when you're in your garage, we're going to cover so many things. You could have a lot of storage items in here. Depends on how you use your garage. People use their garages quite differently. I'm hoping we've touched upon lots of different storage items that might be in the garage earlier in the declutter. But if not, go through those storage items that aren't necessarily garage specific type things. The real focus and what I'm going to be walking you through is more classic garage items. So if you have lawn equipment, gardening equipment, maybe you have tools, whether your tools are in your garage or maybe in your basement or not, like extra paint we store in our basement, those types of things we'll be talking about as well. So talking about tools quickly, that is a really big category. You might have some in your garage, some in your basement, like I said. We also keep a few spare tools throughout our house, like a measuring tape and a screwdriver and a couple of drawers on each floor of the house. Going through and asking yourself all of the decluttering questions we've been asking throughout this entire process. Is it broken? Does it still work? Do I have duplicates of this? Again, a couple of duplicates in the tool department might be helpful, but maybe you don't need 2 hammers or 2 saws or something like that. It's also dependent on how often you use tools. Are you somebody that's actually using these tools yourself, or do you maybe not know how to use the tools? So if you don't know how to use the tools, you're not planning on figuring out how to use them, I would probably get rid of those things. But there are a few questions I'm listing here on the screen of things that you can ask yourself as you're going through these tools. Again, the garage is really gonna be specific on the types of things you store here. We try and keep it pretty minimal in our garage as well, just because it's not a temperature stable environment and a lot of things don't do well when you store them in the garage. And it's another space you have to be so conscious of and careful of because clutter can collect very, very quickly. And I know for a lot of people, this can be a great extra storage space if you don't have enough storage in your home. I'm hoping that through the sophisticated declutter, you've freed up some extra space. And if you have, you can move some of the items out of your garage that would be better suited to be indoors in your home. The percentage of Americans that can't actually pull their car into their garage because of how much clutter they have is truly shocking. I want you to be able to have a functioning and useful garage, a space that you can pull your car into so it's safe from the elements. And again, if you're one of those people that can't even pull your car into your garage, I understand that this process is going to most likely take more than a week. So please continue the sophisticated declutter beyond what I have set for it, beyond this 6-month period, and really do the full job of going through and decluttering your garage because you are going to thank yourself when you can pull your car or cars into the garage and actually use it for what it's meant for. That is it for today's video. I will have one more coming up talking about the last week, which is our buffer week, and toys. So stay tuned for that one. But until next time, I will see you all later.